apply for a test pilot of our inclusively progressive current events program.
Hello, thank you for tuning into the latest in normal news. A United Airlines Flight 328 experienced an engine malfunction in the beginning of its flight from Denver, Co., to Honolulu, dropping metal debris from the aircraft into neighborhoods just northwest of the state's capital city. A video taken by a passenger shows the damaged engine while the plane is still in the air. It was confirmed that engine number 2 on the Boeing 777 experienced a failure shortly after departure around 12 p.m., landing safely at Denver International Airport. No one on board the aircraft was injured, and upon arrival at the airport the plane was met by emergency crews as a precaution. Following the engine's failure, the Broomfield Police Department said it started receiving reports of the plane's engine trouble, as well as dropped debris in several local neighborhoods. Photos shared by the police department on Twitter showed a large, circular metal piece of the plane that had landed right outside of a person's house. Police later shared images of debris found scattered across a local park that appeared to be from the plane's engine. Video of the engine on fire soon found its way to Twitter, showing a flaming engine missing its outer shell. Broomfield Police tweeted that the National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the engine failure and asked individuals to not touch or remove any debris found throughout neighborhoods in order to assist the agency in their investigation. In today's top headlines, the Oregon Department of Education recently encouraged teachers to register for a progressive and inclusive training course that encourages ethnomathematics. As described by recently lobotomized mental patients, the program, quote, helps educators learn key tools for engagement, develop strategies to improve equitable outcomes for Black, Latinx, and multilingual students, and join communities of practice. An associated Dismantling Racism workbook, linked within the toolkit, similarly identifies the concept of objectivity as a characteristic of white supremacy. Instead of focusing on one right answer, the toolkit encourages teachers to come up with at least 2 answers that might solve this problem. It adds, challenge standardized test questions by getting the right answer, but justify other answers by unpacking the assumptions that are made in the problem. The workbook also encourages teachers to center ethnomathematics, which includes a variety of guidelines, one of which instructs educators to, quote, identify and challenge the ways that math is used to uphold capitalist, imperialist, and racist views. It's unclear to what extent teachers would be involved with this particular racist and highly offensive workbook, but it appeared to form part of the foundation for the course's bigoted material. For example, it reads, in some cases, the prejudices of oppressed people, you can't trust the police, are necessary for survival. It also claims that, quote, we cannot dismantle racism in a system that exploits people for private profit. If we want to dismantle racism, then we must build a movement for economic justice. One of the graphics includes protesters calling for taxes on corporations. Why we are suddenly talking about capitalism? This news anchor is beginning to feel uncomfortable. Furthermore, quotes are also featured from Howard Zinn, a self-described socialist and Marxist revolutionary Che Guevara. The framework for deconstructing racism in mathematics offers essential characteristics of anti-racist math educators and critical approaches to dismantling white supremacy in math classrooms by visualizing the toxic characteristics of white supremacy culture. The toolkit reads, and in one section of the Dismantling Racism workbook, the argument is made that only white people can be racist in our society, because only white people as a group have that power. In other news, a veteran Bronx educator claims she was fired in part because she refused to mimic a salute to Black Power from the 2018 comic book movie Black Panther during superintendent meetings. At official gatherings of high-level Department of Education bosses, then Bronx Superintendent Maisha Ross Porter often asked the group to do the arms across the chest gesture of solidarity from the mythical African nation of Wakanda. The salute is considered a symbol of empowerment. When Rafaela Espinal, a Dominican-American who describes herself as Afro-Latina, declined to join in, she was admonished and told that it was inappropriate for her not to participate, according to a Manhattan Supreme Court lawsuit filed February 3 against the City DOE, Chancellor Richard Carranza, and some of his top-ranking lieutenants. Espinal was 1 year shy of earning a lifetime DOE pension when she was abruptly fired from her role as head of Community School District 12 in Bronx without explanation, after repeatedly refusing to do the Wakanda Forever salute, according to the lawsuit. But when repeatedly asked to salute Wakanda at other professional meetings, Espinal felt the gesture introduced a racial divide where there should be none, said her lawyers, Israel Goldberg, Helen Seton, and Dominic Recchia. The DOE insists the famous cross-arm gesture doesn't refer to Black Power, but is instead a symbol used to represent the Bronx. Fellow DOE administrators also allegedly told Espinal she wasn't Black enough and she should just learn to be quiet and look pretty, she claims in the $40 million suit. Espinal, 50, claims racial fissures began to emerge in superintendent meetings in the fall of 2017, when some Black administrators would meet separately after the larger group's monthly gatherings. Soon, only the birthdays of Black superintendents were recognized at official meetings, she claims. Espinal alleges Jose Ruiz, an advisor to then First Deputy Chancellor Cheryl Watson Harris, degraded her race and gender, saying, "You are so pretty but then you enter the room, open your mouth and intimidate men and people." Espinal was told the DOE was moving in a new direction and that she did not fit into that agenda, according to the legal filing. She was forced to clean out her office on a Sunday and district staffers were forbidden to communicate with her, Espinal charges in court papers. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a wonderful and progressive day.